Hi there. I wanted to do a test because I noticed that my sparge water, when I am doing all grain, tends to come out considerably cooler than what the recipe calls for the actual sparge water to be, usually around 168. When I did the last couple batches, I noticed that it was coming out anywhere depending on how slow I would drain it, between 148 and 155, which means it's cooling out some as it comes out of this ball valve down the tube and into this fly sparge dispenser. So I set up a little test to see how this is going to work, because I wanted to make some calculations as to what the actual temperature of the water is I need to put in here and what actually comes out at the dispenser. And so I've got a couple pots boiling here. I usually do this out in the garage. I just didn't want to do the full setup. I'm going to get some water in there. I'm going to get it boiling to about I'll get it up to temperature about 190 to 200, and then what I'll do is take a temperature reading and cool it off as needed, and till I reach a target temperature of 168 coming out of the dispenser, which would then sparge the actual mash at about 168. Hopefully that would be the goal. So, okay, so what I got going here now is calculated the flow rate, about 2 cups per minute. I want to average this out so that I can get about 4 to 5 gallons out over a 45-minute period. As you can see, I'm sparging here. I'm about almost 30 seconds into it, and at about 1 cup. So that's a decent flow rate for sparging. This is going to rinse the grains real well. And temperature-wise, I'm looking at about 175. And that's going to count for all the cooling down as it goes down this tube. And you can see my initial temperature here is at about 192 to start with. That's a decent rate, but a little on the warm side still. I'm looking at 176 kind of now. And there's about a minute, so I could probably increase the flow rate just a little bit. So I'm going to keep a track here and see the temperature variances as it changes as the temperature cools off, as I add cooler water now to the liquor tank. Okay, we're back again now, and my target temperature looks to be right around 180 now inside. I just keep recirculating this water as I'm using it. It seems to drop every time I do this a couple degrees. So good flow rate, and it's looking like about 12 degrees in addition to the sparge temperature is what I'm coming out to. And just kind of give you an idea. Here's my results. I did find that when the disperser tip is flush as I'm filling it, I'll keep it flush with the top of the water in that cup. It tends to be a couple degrees warmer than when it's allowed to drip from dispenser down into the cup. It actually will cool off another couple degrees. Okay, guys, now I've finished this test. I actually went and saw a movie with the family and came back and just ran all these numbers. So what I did is I decided to have 2 different columns, and I did this in Excel. One with the numbers dealing with the 2 to 3 inch sparge trickle kind of, and the other numbers with the actual readings I got from a level sparge right on top of the mash. And looks like after it's all said and done, there's on average maybe about a 2 degree difference between the two. And on an average room temperature, about 78 degrees. Looks like I'd want to do about an 11 degree increase on the liquor tank water. So if my goal is around 68 degrees, I want to heat it up to about between 179 to 181, 182-ish, depending on whether I was going to trickle it or not. So I recommend this. It didn't take that long. I know kind of looks complicated. It's really not that complicated. It was kind of fun, actually. But doing this with your own tank or mash tun, however, whatever setup you've got, and it may help you in the future when you want to do some sparging, and you want to get those numbers as exact as possible. But I know this is all looks scientific. It really isn't that complicated when it's all said and done, and you can get a lot of these numbers averaged out, and you don't even necessarily need to be as exact as I've got it here. It just sometimes it makes it interesting to see how exact you can get it. Thanks, guys. This is Matt, by the way, and thanks for listening. Hopefully this was educational. Thanks.